So when we look at this region, which countries would you say are leading, and which countries would you say still need to do some more thinking about doing the digital transformation?
I mean, if you look at Europe overall, we're still a very traditional in living in a very traditional media landscape. So the budgets are still shifting towards TV, towards the classic media and so on, although the interaction and the eyeballs and the usage is heavily going into the digital channels, respectively mobile. So the Nordic countries are the most active ones. I mean, speaking from ourselves in Austria, Germany, and so on, it's getting better, but we still lack a lot of. And from the talks I had here yesterday in Ljubljana, we see that only a tiny little fraction is going into the mobile space. You can also see that major players, for example, don't even have a mobile optimized version from their web platforms and so on. So I think there is a lot area and for improvement.
So why do you think that mainly traditional companies fail to see all those advantages that digital communication is offering to them?
I mean, the problem I think is that per se the mobile environment is a very, very difficult one due to the fraction and fragmentation of the platforms. So you've got the iOS world, you've got the Android world, you have low-end, high-end, mid-end devices. It's very hard to satisfy all the needs, to get with one campaign everything covered. And the problem is it takes time, it takes money in order to get everything optimized. It also takes time, and it's hard often for the media agencies to do the bookings, that everything is working out. It's easy for them with TV and classical media because they learned that over years, and it did not change. It did not change very much, but in our territory, specifically the digital and the mobile business, it's changing constantly, rapidly. It's like you're running all the time in order to keep up. And I think these are the things that keep many out of the strategic to-dos which they would have, and they are a little bit afraid of it. But I think if they are not jumping on the train, and I mean, we've seen that with Google now. Google is completely switching their results from the mobile search. It's called the mobile get-on, and we really have kind of an Armageddon in this area. If you're not going to go down the path of mobile, optimize, and so on, you won't be found any longer in the search area, and the competition that is going into that direction will overtake rapidly. They will be seen, and you will not be seen any longer. And I think that's critical.
Who do you think should be the main advocate of the digital communication, or to put it in different words, who do you think should be the main pusher to scare away the fear that mostly traditional legacy companies are having? And consequently, where do you see at the moment the biggest hurdle in making digital communication widespread faster?
I think the players that should act towards getting more and more attention are, for example, the IAB. On the one hand side, the Mobile Marketing Association and so on, different associations working in this digital field and areas for a long time. They should really try to do their work on a local basis, on a global basis. There are so many studies already available, best practices, best cases, nobody knows about. So they should really do more as regards PR and helping agencies to learn what they have to do and so on. I mean, on a global scale, of course, Google is doing its part with, for example, the change of the mobile search results and so on, which is getting now into the heads of many marketers and publishers and so on. So I think there are different sorts of players out there, and I think also conferences like that, yeah, with international speakers who are presenting best practices and cases and success cases, yeah, I think will also help. And we need to attract the right people, the marketeers. We need to attract guys from agencies, that they attend such events, that they learn, yeah, from them, and that they see, okay, well, it's happening, it's possible, it's not rocket science, you just have to do it, try it out, you will see that it's successful, you will see that the eyeballs are there, you will see that the engagement, the interaction is there, and that helps everybody, yeah? The agencies as well as, in the end, of course, the marketers and hopefully the consumer as well, if it's relevant, if it's entertaining, if it's exactly what he's looking for, wherever he is with the gadgets in his pocket.
And the second part of the question, where are the biggest obstacles at the moment?
The biggest obstacles in the moment is the fragmentation, as I said beforehand. Fragmentation from the operating systems, so the iOS world, the Android world, you've got the Windows world and so on. The next obstacle, of course, is technology as regards HTML5 standardization. So we still lack a lot of guidance as regards standardized ad formats and how to produce those. We've got some. We've got the M-Rate standard, we've got Fast standard, and so on. But still, there are differences, and little differences can make, as it is in the word, a difference when trying to get the ads out into the market. It's not working on each platform, it's not working with every publisher, there might be technical obstacles and so on. And this is kind of what an agency primarily tries to avoid, because they want to get everything out smoothly and don't want to have a lot of work in checking back and maybe do a little troubleshooting. But I think that's manageable. We are doing that. A lot of others are doing that in the global world. So we just have to work together. And the IAB, for example, Mobile Marketing Association and so on, there are guidelines. If you stick to these guidelines, it's fine.
Where do you see Slovenia on this map?
Slovenia, as I learned from different talks, they are still very behind the rest of the crowd, I would say, from if you look at the Nordics and probably also the GSA countries. So I think it's still a very traditional market, still heavily budgets floating into TV and the classic media. So I think from the numbers we've seen, it's also going into the direction of digital. The young people, they are using these devices. They are not going to watch TV every single day. They are not reading the newspapers any longer in the classic traditional format. They are using their devices. So I think there's a lot of potential now for Slovenia. And I think they will go down the road, but they really have to try it out. They really have to have the guts to say, well, I'm doing now a disruptive campaign. I'm focusing more on mobile, on digital, and try and find out, okay, if the crowd is following, what the success rates are, and I think they have to elaborate that. And for the publishers, as I said, they really have to get their portfolio optimized cross-device, so it has to be either responsive or a specific mobile version and so on in order to cover all different channels.
So if I try to paraphrase you, we are on the right path, but we still have a lot to do with regards to achieving it more swiftly.
You're definitely right, but you're not the only ones. There are many other players and countries, and I think everybody has still a lot to learn and a lot space to improve. But of course, I mean, we can't stop it. We will see within the next couple of years, everything is around those devices, no matter how big and what kind of devices we're gonna have, whether it's the smartphone, the wearables, whatever. But it's going to be very, very interesting. I think there's a massive potential. If you combine that with usage data, the big data topic that we have, and if we use that in the right way, we're gonna create more relevant campaigns for the users and overall more revenues for all of us out there in the market.